major chord his love, and she got it right. What she played it on came from the light.
Welcome to Grandma's Journals. This channel began with a collection of handwritten journals, pages filled with everyday moments, quiet faith, family stories, and a kind of wisdom that only comes from a life well lived. These journals belong to my Grandma Peggy. Inside them are her thoughts, her prayers, her joys, and her struggles. Moments that may have felt ordinary at the time, but now feel priceless. My hope is that as you listen, you'll feel connected to her story and maybe even your own. Thanks for being here. This is Grandma's Journal.
The beauty of the song is joy in her eyes. The major chord is love, and she got it right.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Grandma's Journal. I have a handful of items to show today, not just pictures, but actual items. Some of them I couldn't find and I was a little sad about. But so if you are not watching the video, I'm sorry. You just get to hear about them. But if you are watching the YouTube video, you will get to see some of the actual items that I have to show that go along with some of the journal entries that we're going to read today. So we're going to jump right into it and get into 1991. All right. January 4th, 1991. I am feeling better, but still have a little fever and not feeling too good, but I can't stand to see my Christmas stuff still up, so I've been taking parts of it down each day and then going back to bed. There is something sad about taking everything down. It makes the magic go away and that special feeling. So this year, we need to do something all year long. We are going to get our family together and decide what we can do for others all year long. It has rained for 2 days, and it makes it a little hard to get out for us. We go across the river, but if they run any water through the bottom, it washes our road out. It is so foggy. I haven't been able to see Red Mountain all day. The decorations are finally down and boxed up. At least I got that far. Oh well, there will be other days. But I've got to feel good by Sunday. Our new little Cody Clark hunt gets blessed. Sunday, January 6, 1991. Our ward starts at a new time this year, 11:30 to 2:30. It's kind of nice to not hurry early in the morning. Alec had to work, and so I went to church by myself and went to sacrament and Sunday school, and then I was to meet Alec outside at 2 o'clock so we could go to Tolleson to the baby's blessing. Well, at 2:15, I realized he was late, and he didn't get there until 2:20. He was not changed into his clothes, so I knew something had happened. He had already set this up with the other water master so he could leave early. Well, you guessed it. Something went wrong, and they needed him for a while, so he was late. He got into the car, and we headed to Tolleson, and when we got there, he put on a tie and dress jacket and went in his Levi's, but at least we were there. Stephen blessed little Cody, and Alec and Jim and Howard, Stephen's brother-in-law, all stood with him, and Jennifer made Cody a navy blue suit with a red bow tie and a vest to match. If he had not been so little, he would have looked like he was 6 months old. They had a real nice testimony meeting, and we went to Steve and Jennifer's afterwards for dinner and to celebrate little Cody's blessing. I still have this cold or whatever. I hate to be sick. I have a wallpaper job tomorrow, and I love to wallpaper, but not when I feel bad. Monday, January 7th, 1991. Monday is here, and I don't feel much better, but a job is a job. We are doing a trailer house, which is harder to do. So much cutting in small areas. We did 3 rooms, and it took 3 days. I still have my cough and cold. It does not seem to want to go away. Thursday, January 10th. Alec and I went to talk to one of the psychologists for the SRP company for people who are retiring or taking a package deal. Okay, I'm going to pause. I was confused when I read this because I'm like, why are you going to see a psychologist for this? But I mean, that is 100% what she wrote in her journal. So unless she meant something else, it's what she wrote. So I don't know. Anyways, he just went over mostly what Alec and I had already discussed. I think I knew all along that he would not retire, but we had to go through all the options to make sure we knew what we were doing. We went to some antique stores that were in the same block. We saw everything, so many things we remembered ourselves when we were little. Things we took for granted and tossed to the wind, other people pay good money for. We can never see in the future, but sometimes I wish we could, except it would take all the fun out of life. So I'm glad it's like it is. We went through 2 stores until I started feeling bad. I've never gotten over this crazy flu bug or whatever it is. So we headed for home. I'm glad Alec likes to do things like that. Most men wouldn't even stop, let alone go in. Alec goes everywhere with me, even if it's shopping for clothes. I hate to go and buy for myself. He even makes me try on things, which I hate to do, but I am grateful for him and the special things he does for me. I was still feeling bad, so I stayed in bed most of the day. Just can't seem to get over whatever this crud is. Saturday, I got out for a while. We went to yard sales and then stopped by the store and came home. I still am feeling lousy, so I decided just to stay in bed till I feel better. I didn't even get up and go to church. I still felt lousy. Steve and Jennifer and their family came over and spent the day. I love having them, and I felt bad that I was not feeling my best, but I've got another wallpaper job to go and do an estimate on, so I've got to feel better by tomorrow. Alec had to go to work this afternoon, so I am by myself this evening. It makes the nights long, and I miss him when he is not here in the evenings. But this time, it's only for 2 days. He is working all day for 3 months. He is working all days for 3 months, and it sure is a nice change. I just hope when they make all the changes that Alec will land a day job. I only hope and pray this will happen. January 15th, 1991. Our soldiers are over in Iraq and are on the brink of war if Saddam Hussein does not move his army out of the country. I guess we will move them out by having war. Today they will declare war if they don't move out, and it looks like they are not going to budge. The whole U.S. is focused on this because war is new to a lot of our young people. I don't think they can even begin to understand the effects it will have on all of us. It's different this time because they have taken a lot of the women this time. One reason is because so many of the women wanted equality with men. Well, they have it now. Many mothers left little babies and several children home while they went to fight a war. The government says it's because they won't let us take oil out of Iraq. Well, we've got a third of our own oil supply from there and maybe a lot less. We also have an abundance of oil right here in the U.S. that has never been uncapped. So why don't they let them turn the page, have their oil and bring our soldiers home in peace and use the oil we have here? It's scary when we can't believe our own government, but maybe sometime we will really know why we don't know the whole truth. We went through the night and no war yet, but every radio and TV program are focused on the war and that Hussein is not going to pull his troops out of Kuwait. I didn't realize it had affected me, but I find myself glued to the TV. Every newscast they have, and I usually don't watch news but once a day. It's too depressing, especially before I go to bed at night. I try to find something else to do while Alec watches the 10 o'clock news. This will be a very personal war because they have shown it on TV every day since it started. We've watched the partying on TV. We've watched the men and women set up on the Saudi Arabia sand. They call it Operation Desert Shield. They have interviewed the doctors that will be going. We watch them set up their hospitals, dig their foxholes, so we've been there with them all through the whole thing. I guess it really angers me that a person like Saddam Hussein, Iraq's leader, can cause such an uproar and stop the flow of oil and kill people, hold people hostage, and do whatever he pleases. I am sure we can do without the oil, but I hate to see someone like him destroy other people and their countries. Many people think at this time there is only one thing to do, and that is to pray, and I guess they are right. Maybe all the prayers will help soften his heart. At least we are all hoping for that. War is so costly, and peace is free, and frees all of us. But the Lord has told us there would be wars and rumors of wars, and at 5 p.m. this evening, we no longer call it Operation Desert Shield. It is now Operation Desert Storm. America is at war, and the TV has brought us everything that is happening. One 17 or 18-year-old that one of the newscaster interviewed said, "I don't know what to do. I've never been in a war before. Do I go to work tomorrow? Can I still shop? Or am I supposed to stay home?" It's not only frightening to the young, but for us who have been through war before. So much high-tech missiles, bombs, chemicals. We have never been bombed before, but it could happen, especially around here with 2 good-sized air bases in the area. Little kids at school are really worried. They know something is happening, but can't quite understand. What a scary time. January 20th, 1991. An old friend, Bob Fordyce, had his 70th birthday, and they had a surprise party for him. It was really fun to get and visit with his family and friends. Bob was our neighbor in Phoenix when the kids were little, and their boy Mike was just in between our girls. Their daughter Sandy was 4 or 5 years older. Bob's wife, Lee, and I were really good friends, and we had not seen each other in 7 years, so it was really nice. I was feeling a little guilty skipping church to go, but when she saw me, she turned around and said, "You just made my day. I didn't think you were coming," and the tears rolled down her cheeks. I was glad I came. Her husband, Bob, was really surprised. He could hardly talk to anyone without crying, but he was glad we all came. My 2 daughters, Jeanette and Lori, and their families came. Alec worked, so we couldn't make it. It was so nice, and Lee and I had many good times to talk over. On Alec's day off, we had doctor appointments with a new Dr. Bray. We went on a new insurance, and it's a little scary. We went on them before and never liked the doctors or the insurance. We were really pleased with the doctor and all the nurses. We felt right at home, and the doctor gave us a checkup and told us to make another appointment in 5 days, and he would give us the results. He visited with us and found out about us and acted like he really cared. It was January 24th, and our oldest grandson, Clint Hargrave, was having his 17th birthday. We went by and visited with him and wished him a happy birthday. He is sure a good kid. He works at Fry's grocery store after school and on weekends. He still loves to torment his brothers and sister and loves sports. Alec and I were so tired we left the house that morning at 8 a.m. Alec had a meeting to go to in a retirement party, and I went shopping. I love to wear my Roper boots, and I didn't have a pair of Levi's long enough to wear with my boots. I hate shopping because I do not like to try things on. I like to just buy and take home. I guess I am truly a bargain hunter. I wanted a pair of Wranglers, but they wanted $35 for a pair, and I knew I could buy a pair of Lee's for half the price. So I went out to the outlet store and bought a pair. On the 26th, we went out to Horse World, and a guy Alec works with was showing some Texas Longhorns. We watched that, and the guy won several ribbons. I don't think the big ones were very pretty, but I fell in love with the babies. I also saw a lot of beautiful horses. They had all kinds of horse shows. I love animals, and I guess horses are my favorite to watch. They are such beautiful animals. They also have a little marketplace, and we walked through the shops. Alec bought me a necklace for Christmas, a silver concho with feathers hanging from it, and one of the shops had earrings that just matched the feathers, so Alec bought them for me. It was a real nice day, but we were both getting tired, and so we headed for home. January 28th, we both had eye check and got new lenses and an old pair of glasses, so we would have a second pair. I know I'm getting older. It seems we're always at the eye doctor or family doctor or chiropractor. Well, anyway, the next day we went back to Dr. Bray, and he explained all of our tests and what they were and why he took them. I've never had a doctor do that. Usually they just say your tests were fine. He said Alec's tests were great. If he didn't know better, he would have thought he was a 25-year-old. We were pleased with the results. Both our cholesterol was up a little, so we have to work on that. January 30th, 1991. I had a wallpaper job for Leo Hacker. I had done some work for him before. He's a great guy to work for, and he also got me 2 other jobs. So it looks like I will be busy for a while, but I like to keep busy. It chases away the anxiety I get when not keeping busy, plus I feel better. The next day was our son-in-law's 35th birthday. I had Alec take a gift and a check over to him. I was wallpapering, so I knew I would not make it over. Steve and Jennifer called to tell us our little grandson, Cody Clark Hunt, was in the hospital. They didn't know what was wrong at the time, but they would call back. I guess a million things run through your mind and you worry so. But when I didn't hear back from them, I knelt in prayer and asked Heavenly Father for peace of mind that all would be well. In just a few minutes, the peacefulness came. Steve never called back, so I called the hospital, and Steve wasn't there, and the nurses won't tell me anything. Also on the same day, when Alec went to work, they told him his job was terminated, that he would no longer be a water master. It really upset him. He came home right after they told him, but we talked about it, and I think he felt a little better. Of course, he was mad, angry, and upset. He has put in 23 or 24 years for the company and done an excellent job. So he feels like he got kicked in the teeth. A lot of the Sanjeros were upset because they thought he was the best water master they had. But the company is trying to get rid of all the 55 and older. A new breed is moving in, and computers are all the thing. But he is not giving up. We think it might be a blessing in disguise because his boss is stressful to work for. They say he can work days until May 31st because his job won't be terminated till then, but a lot of other rumors are going around, so he doesn't think this will be the end of things. I know the sting and hurt. I know the sting and hurt will be there for a while, but we always endure, and usually good comes out of it. So we will go on with our lives until all this blows over so we can see what happens. Right after Christmas, I felt so blessed and yet a little guilty for all the things I have and can do, and I wanted to do something special for someone. I didn't know what, but I remembered an old friend I went by to see at Christmas time, and I missed her because her son had picked her up to have Christmas with him, but her grandson was there, and I talked with him for a while. His mother was my best friend from the 6th grade till right after high school. Well, really several years after high school anyway, or several years after high school. Anyway, my Jeanette was about 7 or 8 years old when she died in a car crash. And this boy, Earl Lee Bassett, was about 9 years old when his mother died, so he really didn't know her or much about her. So I wrote a story to him about his mother and I as we were growing up and told him all about her and some of the things we used to do. He wrote back the sweetest letter and said how he understood why he did some of the things he did and why he liked sports and why he liked exciting things. It gave him a whole new outlook on his life, and it only took me a few hours to give him something he never had, some most cherished moments with his mom. She was a dear friend, and we had many fun times together. I have kept in touch with her mom all these years. It has been 30 years since her daughter Harriet passed away. Well, we finally got a report on Cody Clark. He just caught a flu virus from his sister and is doing better. They brought him home today on Sunday, February 3rd. I sure don't have the get up and go that I used to have. I can remember getting up and just starting in 90 miles an hour, and now I get up, get some breakfast, sit and read the paper, then debate what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. Then I accomplish 2 or 3 things a day. I used to do 20 things a day. I guess it's the slowing down process that makes you stop and smell the roses, because I really think I appreciate things a lot more than I did because I never had time. I kept plenty busy. I'm the homemaking leader at church, and I help my kids, and I wallpaper, and I do all kinds of crafts, and I try to make our home pleasant. But I try to make our home presentable, But I don't do all the things I used to do, but now I am able to enjoy each day completely. I don't think I would change my life. I am very happy. My life has not been perfect, but I have certainly learned by the imperfect things that have happened in my life. I strive hard to be good and always do for other people, but I still have some bad habits to overcome, and I am working on these. February 9th was Justin Hargrave's 13th birthday. He is our 3rd grandson down the line. We went by and wished him happy birthday and had cake and ice cream. The boys are really growing and have such different personalities. They are all very ambitious boys and ready to conquer the world. He says his day was kind of dumb because he fought with his brothers and his mom and dad argued, and he didn't think it was such a good day. I felt sorry for him, but we just joked around and got him in a good mood. A few days later was Valentine's Day, and I kept thinking what I could get Alec. He is such a sweetheart, and I wanted to get a little something special. Well, I was wallpapering for a few days, and I am a daydreamer, and I forgot how fast time goes by, and the 14th was here before I knew it. Well, I went by the store and I got a card and a box of Whitman candies, which I usually don't do. As I came home, Alec was waiting at the door, and on the table was 2 small boxes and a Valentine. He had gotten me a charm for my necklace. It was a cute clown, and the other box was a silver ring with 2 dolphins. It was so cute. He really has an eye for pretty things, and he is so thoughtful. If anyone was to have a perfect marriage, I say we do. We work hard at the relationship and have a lot of respect for each other. It was a real nice evening. It was Alec's day off, and he had meetings to go to and eye doctor appointments, which they didn't find anything. I was wallpapering, and I decided not to schedule any more jobs on his day off. It's not fair to him, and we need the time together. I've been writing to a nephew who is in prison. I cannot believe a kid that can write such beautiful letters can get himself in such a mess. He says he has learned his lesson. I hope so, but he has a lot to learn. I see him, and I'm so thankful for my children and the way they conduct themselves. I only hope I can say a few words to this dear boy and help him in some way to get on the right track. I know he has had a lot of problems in his life. He will be 30 before too long, so I hope he is ready to go forward and make a good life. Alec was off Saturday the 23rd. We got up early and went to the yard sales. They sure did love their yard sales, didn't they? I feel like all of us grandkids could probably remember at least one time that we went to a yard sale with Grandma and Grandpa. I know I can, at least. All right, I found lots of material. One piece had 5 yards in it. I knew it would have cost about $6 or $7 a yard, but I paid $1 for it. And the pattern plus 13 yards of other material, all for $4. That's the fun of yard sales, is finding good buys. We came home and I washed a few runs of clothes and picked up the house and washed the car. Alec soaped the old saddle. We both looked up when we heard a lot of noise, and we went outside, and there was a bunch of people from our ward on horseback. It's fun up here. You never know who is coming by or what you will see. A big duck came up in the yard this morning and couldn't get out. I went out and opened the gate and walked him up to it, and he went out and right to the water and down under. I never saw him until 10 minutes later when he came up. Sunday the 24th, Alec and I went to sacrament meeting, but came home afterwards because he had to go to work. I don't like to go to sacrament meeting. Oh, sorry. I was like, wait a minute. I don't like to just go to sacrament meeting, but some days happen like that. I wish Alec could work days and have weekends off, but that doesn't seem possible either. I guess I should be thankful for the job that he has and grateful for the living he makes for us. Today is February 27th, 1991, and the war is almost over. In order of ceasefire after 42 days of war, Kuwait is a mess, the city ruined, people killed, and life shattered. Iraq's army just gave up and asked to surrender to the U.S. Most of them did not want to fight anyway, but Hussein, who is over Iraq, wanted to take Kuwait over and made his people fight or threaten to take their life. I'm glad I live in the USA, but sometimes I think the war is right here in the USA. I've never seen so much killing and hate that goes on in the U.S. So many young men and women that are striking out at each other, and the innocent people who get caught up in the middle. I feel like so many kids don't have a family life with moms working, and some don't have dads or moms. I'm sure I would have been mad at the world if my mom never came home and was off somewhere peddling dope or selling her body, and that is what a lot of kids go through. The hate groups that are popping up all over, I'm sure they didn't learn that hate all by themselves. No wonder the Lord suffers so much. It must be terrible to see his children do all the things he has taught them to do, and now they are doing it all wrong. It's great to see the guys and gals coming home from the war and the support that is given to them. People meeting them at airports, wearing the American flag in yellow ribbons on everyone and everything. It's great to hear our boys and gals say how much more they value their lives and their family and how important they are. So I actually have a poem that Grandma wrote about the end of, signed by her right there, about the war ending. So I'll read that. So it says, the soldiers all had a smile on their face. They were proud that they had put Saddam in his place. The war is over, and aren't we glad? For seeing our troops in the Gulf was very sad. But now they're home and getting their praise, and well-deserved, as the president would say. Our streets are lined with flag-waving people as our soldiers march and salute their equals. People were jumping and shouting out cheers. Some were so happy they cried real tears. Balloons were flying all through the air, and confetti was flowing almost everywhere. As they watched their proud troops march by, You could see the well, I don't know what that word is. You could see the something in their eyes. I'm sorry. I think she might have spelt it wrong. It's all over for now, I'm proud to say, but if we're not careful, we could be back someday. Signed, Peg. Oh, sorry. You could see the pride in their eyes. Pride and in are just stuck together. You could see the pride in their eyes. So, anyways, that's the little poem that Grandma wrote about the end of the war. So, I wanted to read that. All right, jumping into March. March 1st, 7th, 9th are 3 of our grandkids' birthdays. We tried to go by and visit each one. We went to see Stephanie and Tabitha, and we saw the new baby. I cannot believe a month and a half made such a difference. Cody looks so different. Not at all what I expected. I guess I'm so used to seeing the hunt in all the girls, and Cody is so much Jennifer's side of the family. Right now, he looks like Jennifer's mother, Joyce. I've been keeping very busy wallpapering. A little more busier than I want to be, but it will slow down this summer. I'm trying to get my Easter stuff ready for the big Easter party. Deciding what to eat is the hardest thing. I want something good and not the same old hamburger thing, and yet something they will all enjoy. I finally decided we would have chili beans and green chili burros and fruit salad. March 14th, Alec had his interview with Hot Clow. The interview went well, and they kept Alec for a few hours to check things out. So when he told me that, I was pretty sure he got the job. About 5 days later, he got a call, and he did get the job. He is still a water master, but it will be a little different. Everything will be done by computer. I have a lot of confidence, and I know he will be able to do the job. March has gone by so fast. Easter time is here. March 30th, we always have a big Easter party. At 10:30, Steve, Jennifer, and Jody, Tabitha, Stephanie, Chelsea, Jessica, and Cody Hunt all arrived and ready to party. Next, Jim and Jeanette and Clint, Tanner, Justin, and Brooke Ann Hargrave arrived. And almost always last, the Frickies, Bill, Lori, Cameron, and Tyler. We started off with an adult treasure hunt. Steve found it 2 years in a row. Bill won this year. Tabitha won the teen treasure. Then we had 2 Easter egg hunts for ages 4 to 8 and 9 to 12. Money was taped on each egg. Then we stopped for lunch and we had beans and chili burros and fruit salad, olives, chips and dip, and Easter basket cupcakes. I made 13 stuffed bunnies, and we put them on a platform and let each child throw the ball and knock down the bunny they wanted. We had a bubble blowing contest. Then we had a horseshoe throwing contest, which my mom and Lori got the closest to the peg. We had a yard sale drawing. Alec and I picked up stuffed bunnies at the yard sale and had drawings for each. Then we had a piñata. It was lots of fun, and the kids had so much fun. It always takes a few days to get over all the fun. So, hang on. Okay, I have something to show you, but I was mixing up 90 with 91. Because I was like, wait, she said that she made stuffed bunnies for everybody, but that was actually in 1990. So I have those little stuffed bunny here. But now I'm not sure if this is the stuffed bunny that she made in 1990 or if this was one of the stuffed bunnies that they bought that we knocked down. It very much looks homemade to me, so I'm thinking that this is the one from 1990. But still, here's one of the little bunnies that Grandma made. So, cutie cutie. Okay, sorry, I got confused, and then I had to look back on this is my list of pictures, and I was just confused, but that's okay. Whether that was from 90 or 91, we're in the vicinity, right? Okay, back to this. I had my mother over for a few days before Easter. We went to look at mobile homes, so when Mom sells her house, she will know what she wants to buy. She enjoyed herself. She talks all the time and never shuts up, but I think a lot of it is nervousness, plus she doesn't have many adults to talk to. She went to church with me on Sunday, and afterwards we went to my sister's house, Emily Thompson, and visited for a while. Mom was going to stay till Tuesday, but she ran out of eye drops and decided to go home on Monday. We stopped by a friend's house, Denise Burden, and picked lemons. Then we went to Superstition Springs Mall, and I took Mom through the new JCPenney store. It is decorated really pretty. I then took her over to Home Depot where my brother Alan Latimer works. I dropped her off and he took her home. I think she had a good time. No one is completely comfortable in someone else's house, but she seemed very comfortable. It was also Alec's first day on his new job. He came home and seemed to be real pleased with the way he was treated and feels as if they really wanted him there. He says there is a lot to learn and computers will be different for him, but he is confident he will learn, and so am I. At least he knows now that he will be in this job for a while. He will be in training for 4 to 6 weeks, and then he will go on shift work, which I don't like, but he has always gone on shift work, so I guess he is doomed to the nightlife in his job, but he will work 8 days on, 6 days off. So now I have got to get him something to do for his days off. I think they always stay plenty busy on his days off. All right, April 1991. Most men are not clothes conscious, and as long as they have a comfortable pair of Levi's, they are just fine. I think Alec was caught up in his Levi comfy. It has been so long since we bought him clothes, I had forgot how nice clothes can make you look and feel. With a new job, he needed all the help he could get to help his self-confidence. He looked so nice going to work in nice pants, shirt, and tie, and he is not a tie person, but I am really proud of him. I know he will do good in his job. He has always put his best foot forward in his job and done the best he can. I am cleaning out closets and getting rid of stuff. I am somewhat a hoarder. I hang on to things and I think I'm going to use them someday, but I never do. So those things have to go. I am still the homemaking leader, and I have talked to some of the gals I work with because our meeting is tonight. I have got acquainted with all of them, and I feel really close to them. You become a family and have such a sweet relationship with them. Carmen Shumway gives our lesson for our meetings. What a beautiful sister. She can make you feel so good when she gives the lessons. This week, I have made a dress for myself, painted a picture for Joe and Joni's new house, painted a picture for Alec's niece for a wedding gift and this morning I went visiting teaching with Vonda Gray, a good longtime friend. She is really a special lady. I feel like we have a very mutual feeling on marriage and husbands. We agreed not too many people have the special relationships that we have with our husbands. I just want to shout out to the world how wonderful it can be if you just work on it. I agree, Grandma. I am blessed with one of those special relationships with my husband. So, and I know it's a blessing because I know it's not, not everybody has that, and it's not always easy. So, but it is something you have to work on if you want it. All right, April 21st is Cameron Fricky's 9th birthday. We dropped by and visited, and he was all excited and waiting for a special party. He is so special, as all of our grandkids are. April 22nd, we were invited by some friends to see Ray Price. Dave and Betty Beatty invited us along with 7 other couples. We had a real nice dinner and listened to some beautiful music. Ray Price is probably 70 years old. We grew up on his music, but he still sings like he's 35. It was a real nice evening, and we visited with some old friends. My daughter Jeanette called today and said, "Mom, Brooke Ann has 104 temperature. Should I call the doctor?" I said, "Yes!" As it turned out, she had strep throat and a sinus infection. It's nice to know she will still need me and relies upon my judgment. I guess that's why they say your children are always your children. We visited with Steve and his family on Saturday, May 4th, and all is well. The baby, Cody Clark, is a little over 4 months old, and he is pushing himself in a little walker all over the place. He's a happy baby and all boy. Stephen and Jennifer are pretty proud of him. Jessica, who used to be the baby, Cody took that from me. Just kidding. I love you, Cody. She is 4, and she told us that she was the helper in the family. She helps everyone. She says, if you want anything done, just ask me, because I'll do everything. And believe me, she does. May 8th, Jennifer called this morning, and we had a quiet talk. It's the first time she expressed how she felt about her mom, Joyce Lester. Joyce is in a home and unable to do anything for herself. She doesn't talk but very little, but still has an understanding of who is who. Jennifer expressed how much she misses her mom and how she can't go to the phone and call her anymore and share special things with her. I know how hard that must be. I am blessed to still have my mom, and I can talk and visit and laugh with her. Mothers are really special. They teach you everything and ask for nothing. My mom is 73 and in good health, and I hope I have her for a long time. Jennifer said Cody was in his walker and Steven was working on the truck and Cody was pushing around and all of a sudden Jennifer couldn't see him, so she looked for him and knew he couldn't go too far, but she panicked for a moment until she spotted him under the truck. He had went underneath and got stuck under the spare tire. This is a 4.5-month-old kid. I can't believe it. Mine were still in the bassinet at 4 months. How things change. I have tore Alec's office upside down this morning. I am redoing everything. Made new curtains, put up all his Salt River Project things, and made it more personal. I bought him a new desk chair and sprayed an old lamp and made it gray blue to match the room and took wallpaper strips up the sides to blend in with the Southwest look. When she mentioned getting him a new desk chair, I automatically, we all know what desk chair she's talking about. And I automatically could feel me sitting in it and the smell of it. Anyways, it's funny how just things will pop into your head just by reading words. Then I wrote a poem. It's our 38th wedding anniversary, and I put it on his desk. I also bought him a new billfold, much needed. I had to be practical in one area. It was fun and took all day long. I put a trim of wallpaper all around the top wall, Southwest look. He worked extra late. I didn't hear from him. He usually calls, but he didn't. After an hour passed and I knew he should be home by now, I started to call and I saw the lights pulling in the drive. What a relief. I can't see life without that guy. It would be too much to bear without him because we have something so special. I loved these 38 years with all its ups and downs. We've grown so close and we just have each other to spoil and love. Hugs are so special and we have ours at least a few times a day. So I have another poem that Grandma wrote, and I don't know that this was the poem that she left on his desk. And then I was like, have I read this poem already? I couldn't remember. So I'm going to read it again because it is a poem for Grandpa. So there's not a date on it though, so I'm not 100% sure when it was written, but I'll read it. And if I already read it, oh well. And if it's not the one that actually she wrote here, also oh well. So it says, it seems like only yesterday when you held my hand and we were talking and discussing our wedding plan. Our love was so exciting and our days were full of fun, and Cupid really shot his arrow. Please excuse the pun. The arrow pierced deep and my heart beating fast. I'll never forget the boy who made our love last. For today he is the man who made love so precious and kind. He is my sweetheart and my great big Valentine. Love, Peg. I thought that was sweet. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love their love, like I always say. All right. May 9th, 1991. This is officially our wedding anniversary. I am making my mom some summer shorts and putting lace on hand towels for Mother's Day and finishing a dress to wear to Tanner Hargrave's special event at school. He gets awards for his good grades he has made. He will be graduating from the 8th grade this year and is a very smart boy. He always made sure he has good grades. We are real proud of him, as we are all our grandkids. Honor student with 3.8 grade point average, with 4.0 being perfect. He was almost perfect. May 12th was Mother's Day, but I know how hard it is to get all the kids together, so I made a suggestion that we get together Saturday the 11th, which works better. The girls had a luncheon at Lori's, and I got earrings, dish towels, a black Southwest t-shirt, flower vase, roses, and a star that Brooke Ann made, some Southwest glasses to drink out of. The girls made it special. They are a delight to have. I hardly ever see Steven at Mother's Day, but he usually calls late at night or the next day, but I know he loves me. We had such a special relationship. He is a real fun son, and we shared a lot of special moments together, and we can always talk. Jeanette is my mirror image in looks, except she is dark-haired and has many of her dad's characteristics. One thing she does have, and that is self-esteem. She does just about anything she puts her mind to. Lori has her dad's looks on his side of the family, but has more of my characteristics and does a lot of things that remind me of myself. They are all good kids, and I adore them so much, and proud they belong to me and Alec. Sunday, Mother's Day, Alec and I attended church, and afterwards we went to my sister's house, Emily Thompson, and my mother was staying out there with her, and we had a nice luncheon and celebration for her. We visited with all of her kids and then left for home about dusk. It's always nice to get back home, although we had a real nice weekend. I guess I am a homebody, even though I like to go and visit. It's always nice to get home. I agree, Grandma. I agree. Alec is working. He went on a permanent shift, so he leaves the house just before noon and gets home around 11 p.m. He works 10 hours a day for 8 days, and then he has 6 days off. We think it will work out. It's better than working all night. I have done real well at the yard sales. I have found lots of material, most of it for 25 cents a yard to 50 cents a yard, and sometimes, if it's good material, I will pay $1 a yard for it. I have found some really nice material lately, and I have been sewing me a new wardrobe, which is a real necessity because I am down to 2 dresses. I have also been sewing dolls again. I've made a few Indian dolls, some Southwest looking, and a cow doll. It's a funny looking cow dressed in clothes. I used to give everything away. Now I have learned to make 2 of everything so I can have one for myself. Here's one of her cow dolls that she made. For some reason, I always thought my Aunt Sarah made this, but my Aunt Sarah always signs her name on everything, and it is not signed on here. So then when I read this, I was like, that is from Grandma. Anyways, so I've had this little cow doll because I love cows. So here's a funny looking cow doll with clothes on. Anyways. I love it. I love it. All right, gotta try to keep my stuff organized here. All right, May 20th. Lou and Carla Moore, my aunt and uncle who bought a home here, came back to visit the other day and came from California to put their house up for sale. I hope they sell it fast. Anyway, we all met over at my niece, Barbara Henderson's. They also brought my Aunt Carmen with them, which was a surprise. We had a potluck dinner and had a nice visit. Lou had been real sick and found out he has diabetes. He gave everyone a scare, but is doing much better and looks real good. It was nice seeing them. My mom, Mary Latimer, was there and had just had her eye operated on for a cataract, but she is doing well. I called her today and she had drove herself to the store and said she saw pretty good. She had the other eye operated on a while back and they messed it up, and her vision is not too good in that eye. This operation seems to be much better. She said it will help her see a lot better. She's the only mom I have, and I sure want her to have a good life and not let some idiot mess it up. But so many doctors you can't trust. It makes you nervous to go to any of them. I hope we can keep her healthy and she can have a good life. She's almost 74, and she still has some good years ahead of her. And I love her so much, and I only want the best for her. She's had a rough life, and I hope it can be smooth sailing from here on out. My brother, Paul John Faraday, is a real sweetheart and is very sentimental. He started writing about himself to find out more about himself. Well, he finally decided to write poetry, and the first thing he wrote was a poem about the war, Desert Storm. After he wrote it, he saw a contest in the paper, and would you believe it? He sent his poem in and won an award for honorable mention. Not only that, but they will publish it in a book called War and Desert Storm. This is the poem, titled War, It's Over. The war is over in the Gulf. The troops are on their way back to their homes they led with nothing in their way to give hugs and kisses to their family and friends back in the USA. They put their efforts together and fought one hell of a fight. They came away the victors and made it seem all right. War is not a pretty sight as we see on CNN, but we can count our blessings and hope it won't come back again. We can give praise to the fact we didn't lose too many men, and for the grace of God, it won't happen again. Saddam is alive and probably well, but we can all pray he goes straight to hell. God bless the USA. Paul J. Faraday. He has done real well. He watched the parade of the troops coming home that we had in Phoenix and wrote another poem about it. It's great to see him doing something with his life. Being an alcoholic for so many years, now he is sober for the past 10 to 12 years, he has found some talent that he never knew he had. I hate to see someone ruin their life. I love to see people develop their talents and their lives, just to see how their lives change for the better. I sometimes think I waste a lot of time with my talents because I'm always doing some kind of craft almost every day, but I usually give it to someone and it usually brightens their day. So I guess if I'm helping someone else, it's not all bad. Memorial Day weekend. Lori and Bill came by. Alec was working. They brought the boys, Cameron and Tyler. They were going to go fishing while Lori and I visited. Well, the fishing didn't last too long. Bill was finished and the boys were back up to the house playing. We came into the house and someone was at the back door. We thought it was Bill, and Cameron opened the door before he could get there, and he just turned and went to the front room. Tyler just stood there with eyes as big around as saucers. It was the beekeeper with their bee outfit on. Lori said, "Oh, the men from Mars." Tyler said, "Really?" They both were a little scared, but of course they both denied it. I got a phone call from my half-sister, Judy Faraday. She's in California. She's coming here on June 15th to have a housewarming for her brother, Joe Faraday. He and Joni just bought their first home. Well, I'm always busy doing something. I finished sewing a dress I made for myself and then finished a doll I was working on. Then I got out a bird cage that I had for a while and put fern and birds and a wood piece and made a tree and put birds in the nest and roses and ribbons on the cage. It really turned out pretty, but what I'm going to do with it is beyond me. It just seems I have to do things with my hands. I'm grateful for this, but sometimes I feel I should be doing other things. I do clean my house and get beds made and dishes done, but I also know I could be doing genealogy work, getting pictures together, but I always find other things to do. June is here and our weather has been so great. It's still fairly cool for June, 90s. June is a great month. Many weddings for our friends' children. It's nice to go. We get to visit many friends that we haven't seen for a while. The most amazing thing is seeing these kids all grown up and old enough to get married. My sister's three girls joined the church back in 1973 or something like that. Only one stayed a little active off and on. That was Valerie Jean Thompson. She's really had her ups and downs. She finally married a man by the name of Twain Neely over a year ago. He is not a member of the church, but was very interested in being a member. He took the lessons and joined the church. But they really had their problems, so I just crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. Well, finally, after a year, June 12th at 1 p.m., they went through the temple. It was really a special day. They went through a session and then were married and sealed to Valerie's two children, Heath and Lindsay Upchurch. Afterwards, a little celebration at their home, but to see the glow on their faces and to know they did the right thing was so special for me. I felt bad that Alec couldn't go, but he had to work, and Jim and Jeanette were not holding temple recommends at the time, so they did not get to go. What a special time. I hope I never get caught without a recommend. I just pray I stay worthy to always get to go to the temple. June is here, and grandkids come to stay and have fun with Grandma. Brooke Ann Hargrave and Stephanie Hunt came to stay last week. We had a lot of fun, and usually after 3 days they are tired of each other, but this time they really got along good with each other, but the constant togetherness gets to them sometimes. Anyway, they painted a big wooden initial and decorated it up, also a wooden heart for a necklace. They stayed for 2 days and then they went home. The girls dressed up in some of my clothes and theirs and played waitress. We had fun. We were watching something on TV, and a TV star, Angie Dickinson, was on there, and I've always liked her, so I said to the girls, "Look at her. She's my age. Isn't she pretty?" And both girls at the same time said, "Grandma, you're a lot prettier than her." And then Stephanie said, "But don't dye your hair. I like it just the way it is." It has a lot of gray in it. Bless her heart. The girls went home on Monday, and Jim and Jeanette Hargrave brought the boys out. Tanner and Justin out and took the girls back home. The boys came out to work. They mowed lawns, washed Alec's new truck. He sold his 85 Chevy pickup and bought an 84 Ford pickup. He is never satisfied with his Chevy. A few weeks ago, a friend asked if he wanted to sell it, and so he did. The Ford has standard shift and is very plain, but that's the way he likes them. At least it will pull his cattle trailer with cattle in it. The Chevy couldn't do this. Anyway, I really enjoyed the boys. They are at a fun age, 13 and 14. Oh, Grandma. I'm glad Grandma thinks 13 and 14 is a fun age, because let me tell you, I'm in the thick of it with a 13-year-old right now. And I can tell you that it is my least favorite age. But she's almost 14. She's starting to get better, but it's been a year. It's been a year. So I'm glad Grandma likes it. We played games. They are very competitive, and it is hard to beat them at anything. I feel very fortunate to have such great grandkids that care about their grandparents. When the boys were here, we played a Mormon game called Jots and Tittle. It's a name game out of the Book of Mormon, Bible, and Doctrine and Covenants. The boys like to tease each other, and it was Tanner's turn, and he read to Justin. Where did Jesus take Peter, Paul, and John? Justin stammered and then said, Oh yeah, the Dairy Queen. We also had our family party on June 1st, which is always a fun time for all, the kids and the grown-ups. Alec and I made sure we have at least 4 parties a year. This keeps us all together and the kids get to know each other better. It was Jim and Jeanette's turn and we went to Kiwanis Park. Jeanette had games for all of us to play and we all brought our own picnic lunch, and then everyone was to bring a dessert in which prizes were given for the best dessert. Afterwards, we all went and rode the paddle boats. 4 people can ride and push 2 paddles with their feet. Everyone was tired and worn out, and we said our goodbyes, and everyone went home happy. My half-sister, Judy Faraday, who lives in California, came out to give Joe and Joni a housewarming. All of my family and Joe's family was there, and it was real nice, especially to have both of Joe's family there. They got lots of nice things, and we enjoyed each other's company. I'm so thankful for Alec and I and our relationship. He is so kind, so gentle, and so understanding, and our whole life is with each other, and we have so much fun. Life is so short, and if we had to spend it arguing and fighting, it would be a sad world to live in. July 5th, 1991. Briganne Hargrave is 10 years old, and today is her birthday. Alec had to work, and I went by and took her a Carousel House music box. Tuesday evening was my homemaking work meeting. I had forgot that morning because I was all ready for it and had everything ready to go. So we went to Stephen and Jennifer's that morning to visit and to see the kids in Tolleson. The baby, Cody Clark, had been sick and had a bursted eardrum, but he is doing good. Jennifer was teaching art classes to children during the summer, so the house was full of kids. I never even thought about decorating or going down that morning to set up for the day. So when I got down there at 6:30 that evening, everyone was setting up and decorating. I felt real foolish, but sometimes my mind does not retain the things I should be doing. After the work meeting, the bishop called me to his office and asked me to take another job. It's called Compassionate Service. I don't know yet what it is all about, but I will take the job and find out what it is all about. They need someone new in homemaking. I had been there for 2 years, so they need a change. This will keep me from going late at night when Alec isn't here and I don't have any meetings to attend, so it will help cut down on some of the trips I make back and forth. Turmoil and unrest is everywhere in the United States. So much murder, rape, robbing, killings, volcano eruptions in different parts of the world, tornadoes, floods, famine, AIDS, homelessness. I guess it could get worse. The latter days are here and it's a little scary, but we've all been told what to do, and if we don't do it, we have no promise. We only have hope by doing the Lord's will. Things don't go along smooth forever. You have to have some bumps along the way. My daughter Lori called. Bill has moved out of the house. Lori was not happy with some of the things that Bill was doing, and so he left so they could think about things. It's been hard on them both and the kids. It's only been a week since it happened, but it's a blow to everyone because it hurts so many people. I only hope they can be very adult about it and put it back together for their sake and for the kids. July 10th, 1991. A total solar eclipse. The moon passes in front of the sun. It won't happen again until 2026. Hey, it is 2026. We watched it on TV. We went outside. It was a lot cooler, so it was not as hot. We had no special things to view it, so we came back and watched it on TV. I've been making quilts for different friends for their upcoming babies. Also, I've been making some quillos. They are small blankets that fold up and make a pillow. When our son Stephen was 14, he invented a quillo, and I told him to take it to a material place and see if he could get a pattern made through McCall's or some other pattern company. We talked to several ones, but a 14-year-old is not too interested at that time, so we let it ride, and now 20 years later, McCall's has a pattern. Oh well, at least he was the first one to think of our idea, or to think of it in our area. I still have some crazy things happening in my body and head, but I feel much better health-wise. I just went and had a mammogram and blood test to check my cholesterol and diabetes. I hope all is well. My mom went and had her first mammogram. They found a small cyst and want to take a biopsy. She is really scared, but I don't blame her. She's had cancer before, and I'm sure it would scare me also. She had colon cancer. She had colon cancer before when she was in her early 40s. She is now 74. It's summertime and the kids have been coming over to stay a few days. It gets harder and harder to keep them busy. They all have their own ideas about what they want to do, and it gets more expensive, but that's why they come to learn and do and have fun with Grandma and Grandpa. When I really think about the world today, it's really scary, but Alec and I try to do all the things the Lord asks. We pay our tithing, we try hard to repent of wrongdoings, and we work on our year's supply and try to attend the temple one day a month. Right now, our temple will be closed for 6 months, and I know I should be doing my genealogy. Why is it that I can't get excited about it? I just don't have that great ambition to get it done. I'm sure with time, I will want to get it done for all my family. All my tests came back, and they were all good. July 19th, 1991, Wednesday. Alec and I went over to Humana Hospital. My mother, Mary Latimer, was having a biopsy done. On the way over, we stopped at Alec's office. They were taking pictures of all the people that work with Alec in that office. I don't know why, but as we entered the door, I started getting scared. I didn't want to go in where all the people were, so I immediately said, "I'll wait out here in the lobby, no problem." Alec said, "Okay, I'll be out in a minute." He knows me pretty good. He knows I hate to face the crowds and people. I did talk to Hank Clow out in the lobby and met Alec's new boss, Joe Ryle. I don't have trouble one-on-one, but a crowd scares me to death. I'm still a little bashful, and I want to act right and be dressed right and make him proud of me, but the old feeling keeps coming back like the frightening feeling when I was a child. I have Jeanette's 2 boys here, Tanner and Justin. They got up at 5:30 this morning and mowed lawns and washed my car. I got up at 5 and got Alec off to work. He took someone's place and worked days today. It was hard to get up because he didn't get home till after 11 at night because he was on his regular shift, but he goes back on regular shift tomorrow. The boys got their work done and we went back to bed. And they went back to bed. I don't blame them. I went back to bed too. I am not a morning person. If I can sleep till 7 in the morning, I am fine, but I need my 8 hours of sleep. Last night, the boys and I tried our hand at watercoloring. It is a hard medium to work with, and none of us did too hot, but we had fun trying. I like for the boys to try different things so that when they find something they like, I can help them with it. I had just read Spiritual Survival in the Last Days by the Jorgensens. What a great insight on happenings of the last day and how inadequate one feels. I have a long way to go, but I do try, and I hope I can conquer and really endure till the end. We try to talk to Lori every day. We don't give advice, but try to guide her in the right way. Bill is still staying with his folks until things get settled. Lori will not let him move back in till all this is worked out. Bill is a very challenging young man and very headstrong. He lives his life the way he wants, with no consideration for his family. Although he does a lot of things for his family, like he is a good provider. They have nice clothes, a pool, new cars, and a nice home. He helps Lori around the house. He takes the boys camping, but he does not have that loving one-on-one relationship with his kids or Lori. He has more fun with his friends than his family. Lori can be pushed too easy, and she has let him push her too far, and now she doesn't care if he comes back or not. She has lost respect and love for him, and she is real stubborn and is not likely to get it back real easy. Her oldest one, Cameron, has a lot of problems and needs help, and I am afraid if a divorce comes, he will be a real problem for both of them. We don't know what will happen. We can only hope and pray. Our summer has been so great. It has really been mild. Last summer, it was so hot, 122 degrees on the temp. This year, 108 has been about the hottest. August 9th, 1991, my stepdad, Ambrose, is that how you say his name? Ambrose Latimer, he was known as Bruiser, passed away. He was 84 and ready to leave this old world. It's always sad. He left 2 boys, 34 and 31, Alan and Robert. Although my mother divorced him, he was in a nursing home and she divorced him so they could not take her home and money from her. She visited with him every Sunday and saw to his needs. I think in her own way she still loved him, although he did not treat her very kindly, and they have not had a relationship through their stormy marriage. My mom thinks she has her house sold. We sure hope so this time. We are anxious to get her over here on this side of town. August 11th was Stephen Lee Hunt's 34th birthday, our only son. We had a family party at Lori's. We swam, played pool games, and had a float contest. Then we barbecued. We had birthday cake for Stephen and sang happy birthday. Alec and I went in and got him a 4-in-1 Bible, Doctrine and Covenants, Book of Mormon, and Pearl of Great Price in the big print. My aunt and uncle, Lou and Carla Moore, came to town from California to see if they could sell their house. No sell yet, so they rented it. We visited all day at Mom's, and my sister, Emily Thompson, and my brother, John Paul Faraday, and wife, Mary, were also there. My brother, John, has a poem published in a poem book for Desert Storm. He had 2 more published in another book. I am really proud of him. He has learned so much about himself. Writing is like an education. Even though other people read your poems and writings, you learn why you write it. My phone just rang, and it is 6 p.m. on a Tuesday, August 20th, 1991. A voice from out of the past was on the other end. I recognized the voice, but I couldn't put a name to her. It was Nadine Bryant. She was our neighbor when I was in the 1st grade. Her husband's name was Bob, and they had a son named Dickie, or Richard, who was a year older than I. We lived in Ajo, Arizona, and she was our neighbor, and her and my mom became good friends and kept in touch until Mom had her 2 boys. So for the last 30 years, no one had heard from her. She called me to find out about the rest of us kids. She saw Bruiser's death in the paper, and all of us kids' names were in the paper. She asked her neighbor in Pinetop, whose name was Nadine Anderson, if she knew a Peggy Hunt in Mesa. She said yes and gave her my number. Small world. Nadine Anderson is Dr. Hyatt's nurse, or I should say receptionist, and we've known her for the last 28 years. Anyway, it was so neat to hear a voice out of the past, and especially to know that people still care. She called my mom, Mary Latimer, and she was thrilled. They are looking forward to a reunion. Jeanette called me tonight. Tanner got hit in the face with a baseball. They took him to the doctor, and he got stitches under the nose and lip. School is next week, and I don't think he's too pleased to go to school right now. August 21st, 1991. I went to give an estimate on a wallpaper job today, and I went in one way and came out the back exit. It's a gated adult community. I came out on a street that I was totally unfamiliar with. I did not have a clue where I was. I hate it when I do that. I finally saw in the distance Superstition Mall. That's when I knew to turn. I sometimes wonder why Alec lets me out of the house by myself. The night was pretty lonely with Alec working evenings, but he comes home at 11 p.m. and it's nice to have him here all night. My mother finally sold her home. She had quite a scare. The guy at the title company said he would bring the check to Mom on Saturday and meet us in Mesa. He never showed up, and we never heard from him. Monday morning, I called the title company, and they said the office had been closed and that the guy wasn't working there anymore. We were scared to death. We didn't know what happened. They said they would call us back. In the meantime, Alec called the real estate board and turned them in. In a little while, we got a call from a guy at the title company. He said he didn't have our phone number, so that's why he didn't call us. We will never really know. But we did meet him in Tempe at JB's, and he gave us the check. Mom had already picked out the home she wanted, so in 2 weeks, we had her moved in. Her neighbors in her old neighborhood got a truck with a lift and moved her stuff to a storage place. The morning she moved in, Storm Henderson, Mom's grandson-in-law, Alec and my brother, Paul John Faraday, moved her into her new home at 2523 North 96th Street in Mesa. She's in an adult park. She's been there for 2 nights. She moved her stuff in Monday the 16th. Wednesday the 18th, was her first night. She says she thinks she's going to like living here. We all hope so. It's not easy to be alone and have to grow old too. I got a wallpaper job in a mobile home, and it is the hardest job I have ever done, and I think I just can't handle it anymore. I probably won't do too many more. I know that I will probably have days like this, but I will get over it. I have started another watercolor class. I really enjoy it. I think I have finally started catching on a little. We have a lot of beginners in our class, so I feel good about the class. Watercolor is a hard medium to paint with, but it's only because it's different than oils. My friend and wallpaper companion Betty is also in the class. We both are having fun. Lori and Bill have decided to go back together and try to make life a little more pleasant for each other. The boys are happy. I think Bill is happy, and maybe Lori can find some happiness along the way. Our prayers are with them, and we hope for the best. My mom went to church with me today. It was real nice. She acts like she enjoys herself when she goes. Maybe something will happen. Maybe she will want to go and be a member and get baptized. She has been in her house for a month now. I think she really likes it. She has met several of her neighbors. She irons for my sister and niece and seems to enjoy it. She pressed shirts in her folks' laundry for years. She really hand presses beautifully. It gives her something to do and a little extra money. Saturday, October 6th and Monday, October 7th. We went to Elfrida's to see Alec's mother, Blanche Hunt McCullough. She just had her 85th birthday. She is still doing a lot for herself. She gets her own meals and cleans her room and makes her bed and does dishes. She has someone come in every week and clean her house. She watches a lot of TV and takes naps here and there, but seems to be in good health. Alec's sister and her gang were down just before we came down, so we missed them just by about 30 minutes. The trip home seemed a long time, but maybe we just don't enjoy the trip anymore. We had a lot of good memories, but a lot of unpleasant ones in Elfrida. We did stop in Benson and saw some great friends, Joy and Evelyn Nelson. We visited up in Benson. We hope they make a go of it. They are great people. Sometimes I get feelings, and I don't know why. I feel like my nephew, John Faraday, who just got out of jail, is not doing good. Just a gut feeling. So I wrote him a letter and really told him a lot of things. It was pretty strong stuff, but I wanted to make an impression on him so that he will wake up. I know he can make it, but will he? I really hope so. October is a birthday month for us. Alec's mom, then Jim, and then Jeanette. Then my mom, Alec's sister, and then the month is gone. I went shopping with Jeanette. I wanted just a special day with her and I. I knew she didn't have a lot of time because she was meeting me in between bus runs. She brought a girlfriend, and so the day was shot. They talked a lot, and I was only along for the ride. I gave it my best shot. Well, maybe next time. Jeanette had a little party for Jim. We went in and helped buy a Western hat for him and had cake and ice cream. We had a 75th family party for my mom, Mary Latimer. She had not been feeling well. She had some dizziness with a middle ear infection. So a little surprise party cheered her up, and most of the kids were there. Everyone brought her something Southwest to go with her new place. It was fun, and we hope we get to do it a lot more times. Sorry, my throat is so dry. Keep clearing it. Saturday, November 2nd, we went to the yearly SRP party at Shirley and Charlie Clausen, who live across the dam from us. All of the people who work at ADC usually come, and it's fun seeing the people each year and finding out who has retired and what has happened each year, and the food is always yummy. November 5th, 1991. This is Chelsea Hunt's 8th birthday, and on Saturday the 9th, we will celebrate her birthday when she is baptized. The 9th is also the Faraday Latimer family party. We always buy the kids their scriptures for their 8th birthday, so Chelsea knows what she is getting, but she is excited in her quiet way. Alec and I both had checkups with the dentist this week. We both checked out good. First time in a long time, they didn't chew Alec out for not keeping his teeth clean. I am sure glad. He really does brush his teeth, just not as good as he could. November 9th, we went to the family party at 2 p.m. It was on Stevens' side of town out in Avondale at a park. A lot of us were there, but a lot didn't show. But we had a lot of fun. Played games, ate, visited, and took pictures. Afterwards, we went to Steve and Jennifer's and dressed for Chelsea's baptism. It was so cute. Stephanie 9 led the music, and Jessica 5 said the opening prayer, and Jody 17 and myself gave the talks. Chelsea was so happy and thrilled that night. My mother also went and was so impressed with everything. I hope she keeps going and wants to do some of the things the Lord has in store for her. November 11th was Alec's birthday. He turned 58. We did nothing special. I bought him a new jacket and a special saying framed to put on the wall, and I made a special meal. He worked that day, so it was kind of hurried. November 12th, I had my last art class in watercolor today. I feel pretty good about the way it went this time. I am finally learning a little, so I will stay in it for a while. I also got a small wallpaper job this week. I did my visiting teaching and took Mom to the doctor. So I guess although I seem to be pampering myself with art classes and wallpapering, I still manage to help others. It seems like when Alec has his days off, we always have shopping to do and errands to run, so the week goes fast. Alec had to work Thanksgiving Day, so I went to Jeanette's and had dinner with them, then went to see my sister and her family and picked my mom up and took her home. Friday, I had dinner for Alec and all the kids came, so we had a house full. It was also Tyler's birthday, so we had a party for him. We bought him a huge stuffed bear and tied a bandana around him, so he calls him Cow Bear. He loved it. Lori says she took it to school and she works in the preschool, so she went to his class and Tyler wasn't sitting in his chair. Cow Bear was. Lori goes real early, so Bill drops him off before regular school starts. So I guess it was the right thing to do. It thrills me when the kids can still be kids. They have to grow up so fast. December 1991. Sorry, my husband is working down in the shop and he turned his music on, so if you guys can hear the music in the background, I'm sorry. All right, December 1991. It always gets here too fast, and everyone wants wallpapering done too close to Christmas. But that's the way things go. The economy is so bad right now. So many people out of jobs and so many people to help along the way. I sometimes feel guilty because we have just about anything we want, but I know we have worked hard to put ourselves in this position. They tell us if we double our fast offerings, we will double our income. We upped ours because we know it's been a long time since we've upped it. So Alec paid more and I got more wallpapering jobs, and I even got a new job restoring old lampshades. I really like it because I can stay home and she furnishes everything and it pays well. December 3rd, I started watercolor class today. We didn't do a lot, but I feel more confident in what I'm doing. December 1st, 1991. I lost a great friend today. Joyce Evelyn Lester passed away at 59 years of age. I knew her long before her daughter became my daughter-in-law. I took care of her daughter, Jody, when she was 5, and I knew her kids well. I taught Julie, her older daughter, in seminary for several years. She was a very pleasant, quiet lady, a very short person who never thought she was short. We enjoyed each other's company and became very close friends. It wasn't for several years that our Stephen met her Jennifer. By then we had shared some very personal things in our life and became fast friends. After Stephen and Jennifer met and married in Elfrida, the Lesters moved to Mesa, and we didn't visit too often until Alec and I moved there. Then we saw each other off and on. But there was a change in Joyce, and I couldn't really put my finger on it, but she was not the same happy person I once knew. I thought it was because she was depressed because they moved so much and she just couldn't get settled. But by the time they found out she had diabetes and some strokes had already affected her mind. So it continually got worse. She spent 2.5 years in a nursing home. She seemed to know who I was, and when I took her for walks, she would say, "Put me in the car and take me home." It would break my heart. About 3 weeks or so before she died, she attended Chelsea's baptism and knew Alec and I and talked to us. She even sang the songs that we sang and knew all the words. December 5th, 1991, Joyce Lester's funeral at 1 p.m. What a beautiful tribute her kids gave her. They all had parts in the program. And I do have... I don't know where I put it. I had her program. Oh, here it is. Sorry. So here's a picture of her program. So this is my grandma. This is my mom's mom. So this is my grandma Lester. Anyway, so here's, I know you probably can't really see it, but there's a picture of her program. Howard Taylor, her son-in-law, gave the family prayer. The invocation was by her husband, Dean Lester. Then a musical number by the grandkids, Megan, Zachary, Amanda Taylor, and Stephanie, Chelsea, Tabitha, and Jessica Hunt. A poem written by her daughter, Jody Lester, and read by Jennifer Hunt. Another musical number by Jody and Mark Lester, I Will Build You a Rainbow. That was one of her favorite songs. The life story was given by her son, Brad Lester. Another musical number by Julie and Howard Taylor and Kim and Brad Lester. And then another musical number by her son-in-law, Howard Taylor, called The Test. The benediction was given by Stephen Hunt, and the dedication of the grave by Brad Lester. Nothing could have been more beautiful. I was so proud of each one of these kids. It's hard enough to go to the funeral, let alone participate, but I know Joyce was proud, and I also believe she enjoyed every minute of it. I miss our long chats and our crafts we did together. I hope to see this friend again someday. We will take good care of her daughter and her grandkids, and they will always remember her. Whew, I'm sorry. So I was only 5 when... my grandma passed away. And so I don't have a lot of memories of her. And I know I've said this before, but that's one blessing, one of many blessings that have come from my grandma's journals, is being able to learn a little bit more about my grandma Lester. As my grandma said, that they were really close friends before my parents even ever met. So I was able to see like a small glimpse into both my grandmas, especially my grandma Lester, who I unfortunately, was very young when she passed away, and I don't have memories of her. So, I look forward to the day, just like Grandma said, that I will get to see her again. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And be able to get reacquainted with her. Whew, okay, moving on. That evening I went to Mom's because my brother John was there, and we all went out and ate a Subway sandwich, and then my brother, Paul John Faraday, drove us to the temple to see the lights, and it was a beautiful sight. None of them are Mormon, but they loved it. December 6, 1991. I picked Mom up and we went shopping. She was going to buy a new watch band, but I told her she could buy a whole new watch for what she would pay for a band. So we bought a new watch. We went on down to Superstition Springs Mall and shopped, and I think she had fun with me and I enjoyed her. December 9th, 1991. A friend that was our neighbor passed away from a heart attack, Bob Fordyce. We first met him as our neighbor when we lived at 3344 West Lathan Street in Phoenix. He and his wife Lee lived in the back of us. We were fast friends immediately. Bob and Lee loved kids, and we had the 2 girls, Jeanette and Lori. They were both blondes, and Lori was white-headed. So he would call across the fence, "Hey, cotton pickers." It would really tickle Bob, so that's what he called them from then on. He had 2 kids, Mike Fordyce and Sandy. Mike was a year younger than Jeanette, so they were about 3, and Lori 2. Then the next year, Stephen was born. As soon as Stephen was old enough to walk, he would go over there and ask Lee for cookies. Sandy was the mother hen that watched over all of them. But Bob was always fixing a toy or painting something for our kids, and he would always play ball with them out in the backyard, and he would call over and ask to take them for a ride. He was a swell neighbor, and we kept in touch all these years. December 10th was my 57th birthday. I got up early and went to my art class. After class, my friend Betty took me to the Big Apple to eat lunch, and then the gal came back with the check. Her and 3 others came with a deep dish pie with ice cream and a lit candle and sang happy birthday. A little embarrassing, but cute. Then I met my mom and went to measure a house for wallpaper. Then my mom and I went shopping. We never found too much to purchase. I mailed my Christmas cards, and then we went to VF Factory Outlet. I found a pair of red heels that fit, so I bought them. I have a hard time finding shoes in 4.5 or 5, so when I do and they fit, I usually buy them. Then we went to Carol Eden's and picked up 3 lampshades to cover, and I dropped Mom off and came home. A long day. When I got home, Alec had been at work and he wouldn't be home till 11 p.m., so there was no celebration, but the phone calls came all eve with happy birthday, so it was a real pleasant day. The next day, I took Mom to the eye doctor, and on the way home, we stopped at a mall in Scottsdale that I hadn't been to in 15 years. And there in Broadway's, we met Alec trying to buy me something for my birthday. He had not been to that mall in 15 years either, but it was on his way to work and he was early, so he decided to go in. We all laughed and Alec took us to lunch. Anyway, Friday we went shopping and Alec took me to lunch afterwards. We had a nice time. December 13th, Vonda Gray and I went visiting teaching. I had a poem on parchment paper and put it in a small frame. The poem was a quote from Harold B. Lee. We visited with a new sister in our ward, Kathy Busey. She was a real pleasant gal, and we enjoyed her sweet spirit. Renee Amadio is another one we visit. She gave me a bouquet of carnations in a cute cup container for my birthday. It was really cute, and I love carnations. We also visit Linda Thomas, who is the homemaking leader and a real talented young girl. We also visit Sandy Nichols, who has her hands full with small children up to college-age children, and one who is handicapped. That is a handful, but she is a real sweet spirit, and we enjoy her so much. Alec did his home teaching on the 16th. I made bread, and we shared our honey that we get out here from the beekeepers and sent a little Christmas dish towel. Our home teachers, Pat and Alice Boyle, came as a pair to home teach and visit teach together. They came up Wednesday. Alice brought me a cute bouquet of flowers for my birthday and a wire whisk filled with Hershey Kisses. The card said, "We whisk you a Merry Christmas." It was cute. We enjoyed their visit. I finished some lampshades the next day and painted a wooden paper doll for Jessica, our 5-year-old. So I actually have the little wooden paper doll. So I couldn't find the clothes that go to her, but like this right here is Velcro. And she had 2 outfits. She had a dress, and you just put it on the Velcro, and she had a nightgown that she would wear. So so this is my wooden paper doll that Grandma made. Her name is right there, Peg 91. And I played with it, and then I gave it to Jordan when she was a little girl, and she played with it. So I know I have the outfit still somewhere. They're probably just in a different box with other stuff. But so that is the little wooden paper doll that Grandma made me. And then when I found this, I also found these 2 dolls, and this was from the last podcast when she talked about making little black dolls. So these are those that she made. So, and yeah, they say on the back, Peg 1990. So these are the little dolls from that one. But I just thought I would show those because I didn't have them out last time. But super cute. So yeah, these are all the little wooden painted dolls that she made for us. So I'm assuming one of these was probably my sister's and one was probably mine, but I have both of them. So anyways, super cute. All right, December 19th. I wanted to finish shopping today, but it rained so hard that Alec said he could hardly stay on the canal to get to work, so I know how bad it is to go the other way. We slid all the way home. I guess I won't be going anywhere today. I usually have everything done before now, but I guess Thanksgiving fell late and we didn't have as many shopping days afterwards. For some reason, I cannot get into the Christmas spirit. I played music, watched cute Christmas shows, baked and painted and sewed, and usually I feel so good, and I love Christmas time. But I guess the U.S. is in a recession and thousands of people are out of work and so many homeless. It makes me feel almost guilty that we are doing so good. We are helping a family for Christmas, and we have donated to several charities and donated lots of toys and have tried to do our part. And yet, when I go shopping, I can't get excited or have the spirit that I usually have every year, and it bothers me. December 24th. The spirit is not like it usually is at Christmas time. Sunday, we had a beautiful Christmas sacrament meeting, and all the food and presents wrapped for our Christmas family, but something is different, and I can't put my finger on it. We got up early this morning, and because the river is running, we can't go across and get our mail, so Alec and I drove to Gilbert Road, then back to Bush Highway to get our mail. When we got back home, I fixed breakfast, and afterward, Alec and I were sitting and talking and drinking hot chocolate. I, for some reason, was looking at his hands, and he remarked that they were getting old looking, and I said, "Yours aren't old looking, but mine are real old looking with big veins and spots." Alec said, "Don't say that. These are the most beautiful hands I have ever seen. They are always making things, helping people, and keeping busy and serving everyone. They belong to the lady I love, so don't ever say bad things about them." It made me cry because he loves me so much. He is a real special guy, and I love him with all my heart. The day went fast. When Alec left for work, my mom called and my brother was over to her house, so I went over to visit for a while. I really felt sorry for him. His son has been out of jail for a couple of months. He has been in trouble for years. Drugs, bad checks, stolen cars, you name it. This time, everyone thought he was going to do okay. I told him he couldn't do it by himself. He needed help. But he just went back to his wife and tried to make it work out. Well, he is back on Skid Row, shooting coke and beat his wife and her kids, stole a car, and left. How blessed I am to have such good kids and to have the gospel in my life. I visited for a while, then left and came home. I cleaned a little, wrapped presents, made fudge and cinnamon rolls, pressed some clothes, and I think I am ready for Christmas Day. I am feeling very melancholy for some reason. I know tomorrow will be a good day. December 25th. Alec and I bought a camcorder for ourselves for Christmas, and we started out the door that morning making pictures as we went from house to house. We took pictures entering the street and house of each child. It was fun. Now we have a keepsake for each family at Christmas. We were gone most of the day exchanging gifts and eating breakfast with Jim and Jeanette. When we came home, we told each other we would not buy each other gifts because we spent so much money on the cam recorder. But Alec bought me a gold rocking horse on a gold chain. It was so pretty and it was so sweet of him. I can't really get used to Christmas. It was so much fun when your kids were all at home and everyone was excited and doing their own secret little things. But it is more quiet and relaxing nowadays. We called Alec's mom and wished her a Merry Christmas, and on the way home we visited my mom. She had company all day, so she was in good spirits. We had birthdays mixed in with all the Christmas. Cody Clark on the 20th, Lori on the 24th, and Jennifer on the 28th. All right. That's a wrap on 1991. So, just like every year, there's good things and there's bad things and there's happy things and there's sad things and good memories and hard memories and all the things that we experience throughout life, right? But overall, it was a good year. So I had lots of things I showed and lots of pictures I put up to go with this podcast. So if you're just listening, feel free to go pull up the YouTube video and you can see all those things. Again, I apologize that most of the pictures are of me and my family, but that's obviously what I have access to. So if you want to see more pictures of you, of the Fricke family and the Hargrave family and Grandma and Grandpa, as always, feel free to send me pictures. I wish I had the video that Grandpa or that Grandma was just talking about. They bought the cam recorder, and like the first time they used it was to go visit everybody Christmas morning. And they said they filmed when they were walking into each family's house. And like, I'm sure that video is probably at Grandma and Grandpa's right now. And if I lived in Mesa, I would have included that in here, but I don't. So, also again, if anybody wants to pack up family videos or anything like that and ship them to me, actually don't ship them to me. That scares me. What if they got lost? Never mind. Next time I'm in Mesa, I will just get them. Or if anyone comes out and visits me, you can bring them. Anyways, it's just so fun. It's so fun to see. So, all right. Well, everybody have a fantastic week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And next time we will jump into 1992.